Good morning. So this morning, I'm going to be starting on the wrecker build. Got a 2005 Ford F350 single rear wheel, 6.0 Power Stroke in it. I am going to put my wrecker bed on. So first I'm going to bring in the cab and chassis, and I'm going to start looking at the framework and building the main frame that the rest of the body is going to sit on. So without further ado, let's get started. All right, let's see if she'll start. She's been sitting for the last few months, so kind of a cold started. Well, got her in here. Old girl still runs. She needs some work. She's been sitting. She doesn't have any anti-gel or anything like that. So she probably needs a little TLC. The engine is strong though. So I'm going to go ahead, shut the door, get the heat going, and try to warm it up a bit in here. Before we do anything, we need to remove the bumper, the spare tire mount, and anything else that's going to hamper the operation of the new bed. So the first bolts are 21. And then we're going to undo the wiring. Somebody had cut this harness. I'm not happy about that. Okay, I believe I have all of that disconnected. You gotta remove the receiver. That's a weird socket. Don't look like we can do it without taking the spare tire. I think the spare tire's been used. Okay, now we'll get the spare tire hanger out, and then we'll get the receiver hitch out. Next thing we'll do is the receiver hitch. Okay, so now that I've got the receiver hitch off, the tire mount unbolted, and the bumper off, I'm going to now they couldn't get these bolts out for the old bed, these ones here, so they had to cut them. So now I'm going to try and get them out and not have to grind them off. I don't need them, but they're kind of in the way. First, we'll try to see if I can't get them with. So I sprayed them a couple of times. Now let's just see if they'll move at all. I may have to take and cut these off so they'll slide through. So we'll give it a chance and see if they'll come loose at all. I think I'll spray the bottom. If they do feel like they come loose, then I can get them. Tighten them, aren't I? Let's start going the other way. These things, I tell you, they get so rusted up sometimes. I don't know why they didn't just, put stuff all over them. The junk, they will go in the bin with the rest of the scrap metal. Things don't always turn out like you hope. Somebody needs to give her a name, though. Her trim is Amarillo. I guess I could call it the Amarillo. Or maybe call it the Armadillo. I don't know. But she will be set up with crazy stuff. But if you can think of a different name other than Amarillo or Armadillo, leave it in the comments section. She's going to stay yellow, because that's the Amarillo color that Ford did. So I'd kind of like to keep that part original. The bed and boom and everything will all be painted either black or yellow. Chances are it'll probably be yellow. It's not my favorite color, but it's a nice color. I might have to cut these on this side, will be worse. So what I'm worried about is the nuts breaking off of the tabs and then just twisting. That happens all too often. What I do is go this way first. Oh yeah, that one broke out the tab. So I'll probably have to cut the tab on that one. And in all honesty, I may just cut the tabs on all of them. I don't need the tabs, but I have a feeling all of them on this side are just going to break. What we'll do is we'll take grinder, we'll cut the tabs off. So, the bolts sometimes break on the tabs. I got lucky on that side. So, with that being done, I'm just going to cut the tabs, drop them out the bottom. Some of you might ask, well, why don't I just put a wrench or a vice grip on the bottom, on the nut and twist it that way? I could have done that, but I'm not saving them anyway, so they're junk, they're no good. A bigger hammer. Bigger hammer. I'm beating my mouth with it. I got to cut that one. And that's how easy it is. Alright, we'll go ahead and clean the rail off. Well, I'm not sure when it happened, but unfortunately, looks like the battery went dead. Must have happened while I was grinding. If that's the case, I ground off the top of the frame. It looks like they had an undercoating or something on the frame, so I'll have to get some cleaner so that I can clean this frame off really good, and then I'll finish getting parts off. But I can get some things off the frame because I'm going to have to make a little bit of a change because I've got to put frame reinforcement in. So I stuck a piece of metal up here, and then I realized the camera was off. What I wanted to do was just kind of get a look at what I'm working with, get some measurements, so I can start building the box part of the frame that the wrecker section, the boom section, and the boom frame section is going to fit into, and then that way it can be mounted properly. After I get this frame all ready, then I get to go out and I get to start cutting that wrecker bed up. I also need to cut this part off here. I can do that real quick. I'm just going to cut it. I'm going to keep the upright supports because this is C-channel. Any supports this way makes the frame that much stronger. So all I'm going to do is just cut this piece off. But I got a little bit to weld too, so I can go ahead and put weld a piece onto here, and then I'll weld another piece over here just to reinforce it. About 32 3/4 down here, but it's narrower up here. It's about 1 inch narrower up here, so that's different. So if you ordered one of these that are just a cabin chassis, commercial type, you'll find that the frame itself is pretty square all the way through. But when you're using something that was a pickup cabin chassis, you're using a frame that's all different shapes and sizes. I will go out and get a measurement. Arr. All right, the measurement I had on the inside to inside was 30 1/2. And on the outside is 34. And in a sense, that puts me about center to center of the frame. 30 1/2 puts the inside of that frame to there. And that's what we're doing. So, upside down. Too much. Okay, about right there. Now I just need to make sure she's equal out. 1 inch. Okay, so just a little bit. And then this one out. Just a little bit. about perfect right there. I'm gonna go ahead and make a mark. The wind blowing and stuff like that, I'm not going to get a whole lot done on this tank today. So I'm going to get rid of some of the parts. Go ahead, get this brake cable out of the way. That works. Grab this piece. Definitely have to do something different with that tank. That's for sure. Okay. Well, we'll go ahead and we'll remove emergency brake cable. A lot of these spots in the frames are weak spots. Just haven't decided if I want to actually fill in those holes. Two here, and these hold brackets for the lines. So we're going to spray a little stuff on them. That's it, like too. You know, doing this stuff is a lot easier when you don't have the bed. Just gotta remember, this I'm cutting off. The other reason is so I can move these lines away from the frame when I'm doing things like cutting that off or grinding it. I don't want the heat being near my fuel lines. I may end up just dropping the tank out of here so I can get the lines away. That way I can do the reinforcing on the frame. It'll be a heck of a lot easier with the tank out of the way, and then I can get to all the other stuff and do my cutting and my welding. The downfall is it makes the truck out of commission, because I would like to be able to move this truck when I'm waiting on stuff and I can get other projects going. And I gotta get these, when I go to actually do the plating, I've got a lot of other stuff. I will have to remove the fuel tank, put a plate down here. So when I get to the point that I'm going to do that, I can drop the fuel tank, get it out of the way, put my plating on, and get the fuel tank back up into the... So now that I've got most of this out of the way, I think I'll go ahead and just... Okay, here's all that. move this, I can. I've seen some videos where some guys took and they just did a little bit of plating and then they welded pieces on. Myself, I would rather take a piece of 1/2 inch steel and build the plate so it sits as it's supposed to. We have to undo the cab mounts and roll the cab forward a little bit to get the plate to hang over the top. Plate. So just a piece like this, and then it kind of curves over this way. Then we take those mounts and we mount those to it, and it reinforces the plating on it. So yeah, I think that's all I'm gonna get done for today. Figure something else out, we'll process some things. Good morning. It's a new day in the shop, and we are working on the wrecker again. Yesterday, I kind of had to come up with a plan, and today I think I got it. I'm going to take 2 pieces of L-arm, put them together, and make some square tubing. I want it to be strong enough to be able to handle the torque that the winch on the wrecker or anything that the wrecker might be putting in. And I happen to have the extra steel, so I'm going to take and stitch weld square tubing together. And this way I can take and drill my bolt holes and get my bolts into place and weld the bolts, and then I can take my next piece of angle iron, put it over the top, and stitch weld it all together, and everything should just slide right into place. So we'll get started. I have my first piece ready to cut. These are going to be 6.5 feet long. Alright, I'm going to try and get something equal here. I think my problem's going to be this thing here. I know I got to relocate the shock mount. Now, let's see how it looks here. Okay. A little bit of a hanging tree there. That's okay. We'll go ahead and cut our next piece. That way we'll get a better measurement. This isn't the most insulated shop, so it's kind of starting to cool off in here. Which means you take breaks, turn the heat on a little while, because it's noisy. You guys wouldn't be able to hear anything I say. I'd have to play music throughout everything that I do. That way I can't drive you all crazy with my chitter chatter. Yeah, I'm just going to have to grind that down a bit so that I can get... Not going to affect the performance, it's just a little lip off the side here that's in the way. That should be enough. Yep, that'll work. Should hopefully make a difference as far as. There. Okay. I just want to get a cross reference. distance, 34. Okay, so off camera, I worked on fitting a piece. I wanted to make sure that it was going to be right. Just a simple piece, something I've got to go on, putting it in place. So let's see what it comes out at. Okay. And she is perfect, which means our side to side should be perfect as well. That bubble is centered. Looks good. Looks very good. Okay, so I think I've got it figured out. So I'm gonna cut a few more pieces and get them placed where they need to be. Find out the height so I can get more support on the frame. We'll get her squared up and I should be able to start welding it together. Alright, so let's figure frame width. I think I'm fine with 37 inches. I can get away with, I'll hit this to 37 inches. All right, so she is perfectly square. Right where we want her. Put a couple of tack welds in here. Missing the tank, that works good. And then I can work on finishing out the frame so that she fits the way she's supposed to fit. Okay, I had to disconnect batteries. Batteries are all disconnected. And now I can proceed to get some tack welds on this so that it doesn't move, and then I can work on the rest of the bracing. Now we got some framework done. What I'll do is I'll get the truck ready, and I'll be able to pull it out. Then I can get this on the floor, flip it over, get the rest of the welds on it. Before I do that though, is I'm gonna cut some more metal, mark where they're gonna go, so that way when I pull the truck out and I flip it over, I can get those welded in place. So when it gets set back down on there, we'll know where everything's at. I'm also gonna draw, mark where the bolt holes are, and get those cut. Anyway, get yourself set up so that you get the upcoming videos. I'll be putting them out as fast as I can. I am just one person. I'm doing the filming and the editing, and this is all unscripted. If you like what you're seeing, like, subscribe, share, leave a comment. Hit that notification button, and there's a lot more to come with this build. Goodbye for now.